Hello students and welcome to yet another math class for standard 4. Our topic today, measuring time. Let's all learn how to read time. The lowest form that we read out is seconds. Then there's minutes, followed by hours, followed by days, weeks, months and years. So seconds being the lowest. In our daily life, we don't usually use seconds uh, that often, but there are scientists who are working, there are athletes who are taking part in races and preparing themselves for Olympics and all, and they go into fractions of seconds, that's milliseconds and nanoseconds, but we normally just read out seconds if and where, as and when we require. Then there's minutes. 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. 60 minutes makes an hour. 24 hours make a day. 7 days make a week. 4 to 5 weeks makes a month, and 12 months make a year. Let me put that down in front of you. A breakup of what I just said. 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. Then 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. 24 hours is equal to 1 day. 7 days make 1 week. 4 to 5 weeks, depending on the month, makes 1 month. And 12 months make 1 year. So 60 seconds for 1 minute. 60 minutes make 1 hour. 24 hours make 1 day. 7 days make 1 week. We know the 7 days of the names of the 7 days of the week. That's Monday to Sunday or Sunday to Saturday. Then depending on the month, you have either 4 weeks or 5 weeks. That makes a month. And 12 months make a year. 365 days makes a year. Sometimes we also get once in every 4 years, we get 366 days. The year that we have 366 days, that's called a leap year. We'll come to the calendar and those details later on. Today we will learn how to read time. We normally have two kinds of watches. There's the analog clock or the analog watch and the digital clock or the digital watch. It's very easy to read time on the digital clock or the digital watch. You just have to learn to read numbers. But on the analog clock, it becomes a little difficult to read time if you do not know the basic concept. Let's try and read time from the analog clock. You see 3 hands. This is the first. This is the second hand. And this is the third hand. The longest of the two and the fastest moving one, you'll come to know now, is the second hand. The biggest of the next two hands is the minute hand. And the smallest and slowest moving hand is the hour hand. So like I said, most clocks or watches have 3 hands. The seconds hand, this hand moves the fastest. Then the minutes hand, this hand is the biggest of the two slow moving hands. And the third hand is the hour hand. It is usually the smallest of the 3 hands and moves the slowest. So let's look at this clock now. This clock is working. It started at exactly 12. Now, you can see the minutes hand racing at full speed to reach 1 round. Now, as you watch this second hand, you will notice that this minute hand is also moving very, very slowly, and you can now begin to see the hour hand over here in the small the small part of the hour hand over here. Now, once the second hand travels one whole round, it completes one round, the minute hand will move to approximately 1 minute somewhere over here. So that means it completes 1 minute. So it's completed a minute over here. Okay. Now this part will be divided into 5 sections. Each of these sections being a minute. This is just an approximate thing what I put over here. As the second hand completes one more round, now concentrate on this big hand which you see over here, the minutes hand. You will notice that it will reach somewhere around here by the time the second hand comes back again. Now also note that while the second hand is moving, I told you that the minute hand is moving, but also the hour hand begins to slowly move towards the right. Very slowly it will move from this end to this end. There. Approximately over here. This is the second minute. Now this will continue over and over again. The second hand will continue to rotate over and over again till this minute hand over here, this minute hand travels one whole round around the whole clock and comes back to 12. This process will also continue, and the hour hand will then move from 12, from this point where it is now, from this point to around this point over here. This will be the small hand, the location of the small hand. This is where the small hand will reach after the big hand completes one round. Now we are coming to the end of the third round. So the minutes hand will come to the third minute. Notice this hand will come to the third minute, and this process will continue. It will go on and on to tell us the time of the day. So let's learn how to read time. We usually read time by looking at the hours hand and the minutes hand. We don't usually call out the second hand when somebody asks you the time. If somebody stops you and says, what is the time? Very rarely do we say, oh, it's 12 o'clock, it's 11:30, 11 hours, 30 minutes and 23 seconds and 24 seconds. You'll be giving them every second count then. Okay. The numbers on the clock that you see tell us the hour of the day. There are 12 numbers on the clock, 1 to 12. But there are 24 hours in the day. So how does that happen? Okay, the smallest of the two hands, or the three hands rather, the hour hand travels 2 rounds around the whole clock in one day. So that means it covers 12 hours twice, from 12 o'clock midnight to 11:59 in the night back again. At noon it reaches 12 o'clock and it continues to move to 12 o'clock back again till midnight. Now, if the numbers on the clock tell you the hours of the day, if you take those numbers which are on the clock, 1 right up to 12, and multiply it by 5, you'll get the minutes of the hour. So for example, if the big hand is on 3, then you multiply 5 by 3 and you've got 15 minutes. If the big hand is on 10, then you multiply 5 by 10 and you got 50 minutes. And so on and so forth. If it is on 7, you multiply 7 by 5 and you got 35 minutes. Now, at the end of the time, we write AM or PM. When you're writing your notices in your notebook, teacher would have written at 12 AM or 7 AM, 12 noon or 7 AM or 7:30 AM. Your timing on your exam says from 7:45 AM to 10 AM. AM is abbreviation for anti-meridian, that is before 12 noon or before midday. 12 noon is midday. Meridian is actually before midday, and post meridian PM is after midday. That's after 12 noon. So from 12 o'clock in the afternoon onwards, you get PM. So let's learn how to read. Let's learn how to read time. We look at the clock. This is an analog watch or an analog clock. It has got 12 numbers. I said the numbers on the clock represent the hour. So that means it's showing 12 hours. And if you want the minutes, you multiply these particular numbers by 5. Let's see. Where is the smallest hand? The smallest hand is after 5 o'clock and before 6 o'clock. After 5 and before 6. So ours is 5. The hour hand is between 5 and 6. So it's 5. We'll take it as 5. And the minute hand is on 8. So I said if you want to get the minutes, you multiply 8 by 5. So the time is 5 hours and 8 multiplied by 5 minutes. That is 40 minutes. So the time is written as 5:40. But if someone asks us the time, we say it is 5:40. Now, this time can be read out in 3 different ways. You can say it's 5:40. You can also say it's 40 minutes past 5 o'clock. Or you could also say it is 20 minutes to 6 o'clock. That means 20 minutes left for it to become 6 o'clock. 20 to 6. 20 minutes to 6 o'clock. 20 to 6. Okay, so you can read out the time in 3 ways over here. 5:40, 20 to 6, or 40 minutes past 5 o'clock. Choose the easiest. 5:40. Now let's read the time on this clock. Where is the hour hand? The hour hand is on 3. Where is the minute hand? The minute hand is on 12. When it's on 12, it's 00 minutes. So the time is 3 hours and 00 minutes. We write it as 3:00, or we just say the time is 3 o'clock. Now, go through this video, learn how to read time. I will post some pictures of the clock which shows the time of the day. You have to write what time it is. Don't worry if you make mistakes. Look at the video and answer it by yourself. Don't let mama or dada help you. Don't let your brothers or sisters or tuition teachers help you. Learn to do it yourself. I will also post you a round image or an image of a clock without any hands on it, and I will give you the time, and I want you to draw the hands on the clock on the blank face of the clock. That should give you a nice practice for how to read time and also how to display time. Stay safe, all the best, and thank you very much.